Welcome back to Viecelli Unscripted. I am, of course, Viecelli, and I have a very special guest on today. Joining me now, Alex Niznak, a financial advisor. You grew up in Michigan. Thank you for mid-Michigan, obviously. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So talk to me about your background a little bit growing up in mid-Michigan. Tell us where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, so I grew up on a farm just north of St. John's. I went to Ithaca High School. I got my undergraduate degree at CMU. So the mid-Michigan area is very much part of my background, part of my story.
And tell us what you did at Central and after that kind of, I guess it didn't get you into being a financial advisor.
Kind of a roundabout path to where I am today. So I graduated high school early. I started at Central in January. I played football there. I was under scholarship and got my undergraduate degree in 3 years. I transferred to Southeast Missouri State, got my master's down there. After that, I spent 5 years overseas playing professional football before coming back to Michigan and starting my business now. So not exactly a straight line path, but everybody's life journey is different.
What did you learn when you were playing overseas? I know you've kind of talked to me about that. That was a wild ride because you were all over the place for a while in different places. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you?
It was a great time in life to do it, you know, to bounce around and just be able to say yes to whatever the next opportunity is. At the same point in time, there is a skill set that it takes to live in the moment and understand that this chapter is not forever. And that was really the experience that I had was some phenomenal people, a great experience, but also trying to balance being very focused and very attentive to what you're doing, and also knowing, you know, there's going to be a day when you have to make choices about what comes next. So a learning experience, but something that you can do when you're young, a lot easier than later in life.
Right, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's kind of one of those things where it's just on a dime. They could say like, hey, you're going here, you're going to do this. And it's not just like in the NFL where you're like moving to a different state. You're moving to a completely different country. It's all over the world.
Passports and immigration, and you're meeting people for the first time, and
language barriers.
Barriers.
It's crazy.
Well, and it is, everything you said is true, but it's a great time just to kind of reminisce on it for me, and realizing that you mentioned the NFL. The NFL is in the middle of this expansion, trying to become more and more global, more and more international. All the talk about the halftime show and appealing to different audiences.
Right.
We should also remember that football is a universal language. There's fans everywhere. People that are excited about it probably have some sort of fascination, English exposure, American culture. So I was very fortunate that the people that I was around, a lot of them were very interested in what I was there to do already.
Right. No, I love that because I know how special it was for you. We've talked about this in the past. So why come back to mid-Michigan? Did it have to do with your family being here, or you're just comfortable with it? Because you're kind of in the Lansing area now, and why?
Well, I think that when the opportunity to come back came up, it was a situation for myself where when you're in any form of athletics and you're an athlete, you're on borrowed time. Now, and that I'm sure there's lots of industries where this is true, but my experience in football is you only leave one of two ways. You either say, I have this new opportunity, I'd like to pursue it, turn the page, new chapter in life, or the powers that be say, thank you for your service, you know, your time is up. And I always wanted to be the guy that got to make that choice. And when I was presented with the opportunity to come home, it just felt like I probably had more potential physically to keep going, but I didn't know if, let's say I played 2 more years, when that time came up, was I going to have the same opportunity that I had right now? And it was just something that I made the choice to say, this is worth maybe transitioning a little bit ahead of schedule to make sure I could do it the way I wanted to.
I like that. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's smart. Seems smart,
It seems smart now. At the time, there was
probably a lot of stress.
a lot of am I making the right choice?
Mhm.
And when I transitioned into the finance and where there's everybody starts on the bottom rung, and you're
Oh, yeah.
studying and your certification exams and all these
Right.
things. And I remember being right in the middle of studying for the Series 7, which is a big entrance exam,
Okay.
and getting the call to ask if I was interested in coming back to play, and thinking, if
Ooh.
everybody's faith and belief is different. I have a lot of uh, comfort in my faith. It gives
Mhm.
me uh, a sense of things are bigger than myself. But I do remember being pretty stressed and just staring at the phone after I hung up, going, man, if there was a test to see if I'm serious about this or if I'm going to take the exit ramp, that was it.
Yeah.
So it all worked out, but
Right.
if the universe was trying to see if I was going to stick it out, it picked a perfect time to test me.
Yeah. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
So,
Look.
yeah.
Yeah, all the time we've
Yeah.
spent and I'm learning new things. So, what do you actually do now? Like,
Mhm.
what does a financial advisor do? What is your day-to-day like, I guess?
Yeah. So I'm a financial advisor at Edward Jones. My office is in Elma. I'm fortunate to bounce around, and we have clients all over the place.
Mhm.
I'm a big believer in this right here. The real communication is done face to face. So I spend a decent amount of time on the road meeting with people too. But day to day is I've got two wonderful ladies that have run the office. I joke. It started as a joke, but it's becoming more and more true. I think I work for them.
Yeah.
And we just added
You do.
a new gentleman to help support. They all do a phenomenal job, Liz, Sue, and Brad.
Mhm.
But my day to day is I get in the morning, uh, see as I'm going in, I'm listening to what happened overnight, what's in the news that might affect what we're doing.
Yeah.
I like to get in, see what the market's going to do open wise, and then if anything's urgent, that has the first 45 minutes of my day. Then I go right into mid morning to late morning, whatever the ladies have put on my schedule
Mhm.
to get caught up on, or if we have meetings scheduled. But when we are meeting with people, if it's new clients or situations, it's sitting down and seeing who they are, what they would believe in, if we
Mhm.
can help, if we can, what that would look like. If we can't, maybe somewhere they should go. Um, and then if it's a current existing client base or client, it's all about, do they need something? Do we need to be proactive about something? Or is there anything that is coming down the pipe that maybe we need to be keeping in touch with them about, that they're either thinking about or maybe they're not, but making sure that we're having plenty of touch points to be able to help if we're going to have that chance.
Okay, and I like what you said about meeting people face to face because you probably have to do that so
Mhm.
often. You love it though.
Oh
That
yeah.
is, you love it. See, and I'm the very opposite. I'm so incredibly shy with people I don't
Mhm.
know. And,
Yeah.
everybody just thinks I'm outgoing. I don't think I could do what you do.
I think it's something where you have to first and foremost, you have to understand how people want to communicate. Some people only want, they need a phone call twice a year. Some people want to use the technology tools we have. Other people are very much face to face. I think it's important, at least early on in the relationship, to sit down face to face, because we are, make no doubt about it, we're evaluating each other.
Right.
They're evaluating at the most basic level, can I trust you? And
Yeah.
I'm evaluating, are you a good fit for what we're doing?
Hmm.
And I don't believe you can do that the most effectively through Zoom or other media. I think you need
Right.
to sit with somebody and pick up on those small cues whenever possible.
Okay. I like that you said that. What are you looking for then in a potential client?
I think this has evolved over the years a little bit,
Yeah.
and I would say right now what I'm looking for is: are you somebody that's serious about what you're doing?
Hmm.
Are you somebody that's going to fit with the way that we want to interact, which is, we know the types of people that we want to deal with are either ones that have a high level of passion about what they're doing, or they're ones that understand they have areas in life that they're focused on, and there's only so many hours in the day. And so they're trusting and empowering us to help them in an area that maybe they know a little bit less. Well, we better know something because we do it, hours and hours and hours every day.
Right.
But just for context, let's flip it. What you guys do all day, you're very good at. When I go in to see my doctor, I can barely fill out the entrance forms.
No,
And
really.
so I'm trusting him completely that I'll be as helpful as I can, but small words, please.
Right.
So I'm looking for somebody that we can help, but that is going to understand this is a relationship where if you don't believe that we have your best interest at heart and that we are going to have difficult conversations sometimes, and that for every 5 years you're going to like me 4 and hate me 1, then we're not a good fit, because I don't want, first of all, we have a 0 tolerance policy for, you can call and yell at me all day, I can take it. If you're
Yeah.
disrespectful to the ladies up front, you're gone.
Okay. Good.
But more than that, it's just, can we have honest conversations?
Yeah.
Because if we can't, we're not going to be successful.
Right. And I mean, money talks, obviously. It's very important to a lot of people, whether it's $1 or whether it's $1 million. And so to be handing that off to someone, you would need to trust each other, it seems.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So kind of talking financially right now, what should we be doing? It's February, beginning of the year. What are we doing financially? Or what should we be? I'm not. So what should I be doing?
I think we're in a unique spot right now where, if we're talking about just the calendar itself, up until tax day, you have some opportunities that you can still do things for 25. So if you're as part of a plan and you've been down the road, this is just your reminder that 2025 is not completely finished yet, potentially.
Okay.
If you're starting from scratch, just know you're not too late. That the best time to plant a tree is when? Well, it's 10 years ago. Second best time's today. So as the year gets started, right, we're in early February, so a lot of people are probably have already given up on their New Year's resolution. Maybe if
I don't even set them anymore.
If that gym membership didn't work out, maybe this is a time to start something new.
Yeah.
And you still have plenty of time
We're
ahead.
saving now.
Yeah.
Forget it. Who needs a treadmill? I'm saving my money.
See if you can return it. You probably got 60 days.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. So I like what you said about it's best time was 10 years ago, but the second best is today.
Yep.
How would you go about starting your financial journey if you are starting from scratch?
I think your information source in everything is going to be very important, right? And we live in a time where there is an abundance of information. Doesn't always mean it's good. Doesn't always mean it's bad. Be very careful believing social media to be the whole truth. Very few things are so simple that you can put them in a 15-second video and be honest about it. But at the same point, finding some place to get a well-rounded piece of information is true. I mean, my favorite thing in the world is when we talk to new people and they call and they're setting up an appointment. They just have questions, and I think they expect it to be super complex on day one. And the answer is just speak to the ladies, find a time that works, come on in, let's talk. The meter's not running.
Okay.
Find some place. Maybe we can just do some education. Maybe we can help. Maybe we can't. Maybe we can talk about half the saved videos you've got on TikTok. I don't know.
Right.
But you got to start untangling it somewhere.
Okay. Alex, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Viecelli Unscripted. I'm joined by Alex Niznak, financial advisor. So we kind of talked about New Year's resolutions and it being the beginning of the year. Do you have any financial resolutions you would recommend?
Yeah, I would say if you haven't been serious about it, just like your health or anything else, do an honest checkup and don't sugarcoat anything. Just lay it out and say, this is where we're at. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're at. And then do something. Whatever it is, if it is $50 a week, if it is making extra credit card payments, if it is upping your contribution, whatever it is, start doing something. Because we tend to see people get in situations where if you feel it's insurmountable, well, then doing nothing is, I'll do nothing, right? It's that momentum. Just get some positive momentum. Just show up, and then things will follow.
Okay. What about Mythbusters? Can we do a couple of those when it comes to finances?
Hit me.
Okay. Should you check your account every single day?
Overwhelmingly is a bad idea.
Okay.
And if that, a lot of times that's where the trust comes in, that if you trust that we're on the path and we're doing right things, their illusion of activity, because the market's open, things are moving. We don't want a short-term emotional choice to derail our long-term goals. And if you are constantly looking at things and saying, I'm down X amount of dollars, the truth is, if you haven't sold anything, right, the fluctuation is normal. I can be a little bit of a nerd, and
you are a
little bit. I'm being generous to myself.
A little bit.
I have probably stolen every good idea I've ever had, and I remember listening to Warren Buffett talk about, if I knocked on your front door and told you the value of your house every single day, what would it take for me to get you to sell it, happy or sad? So the truth is, that is the exact same to your 401k, your investments, the value today is not reflective of its worth. It is a reflection of the moment. Okay.
Can it actually fluctuate that much day to day? Okay.
Law of large numbers. The more that's in there, the older you are, the more time. It's very easy. I off the top of my head, I remember we had a lady, and she had however many millions of dollars, and in 2022, when the market went down and we had inflation scare, and she would say things like, I lost $50,000 this month.
Ooh.
No, you didn't, because we haven't sold anything. We haven't realized anything. Just like as it's going up, you're making money, but until you sell it, it's appreciation. So fluctuations happen. It's about you in the future, not you today.
Okay. And just for reference, you are the one doing the selling. People aren't going in their own accounts and...
Overwhelmingly, it's us.
They'll call you and say, I want to sell this.
Yep. Or
you
vice
say,
versa. Yep. And sometimes it's the opposite. It's saying, just like we have to protect against fear, we have to protect against greed. And if you tell me, our goal is you would like to do this, you want to go on a trip, you want to build a house, you want to do anything. If we have achieved our goal, trees don't grow to the sky. Sometimes you have to trim it back and say, let's not get greedy here. We set out to do this. We've done it. It's time to ring the register. That happens too.
Okay. I didn't know that. Now, in the example that you gave, we were talking about millions of dollars. So another myth, I don't make enough money. I don't have enough money to give it to a financial advisor, or to even have a financial advisor. True or false?
False. If you there's nothing more powerful than time. Get started early. Find somebody that you trust and can have a conversation with, and then compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. So that's a giant myth.
Okay, so even if you're just like making minimum wage or average whatever, average income, you can still start saving.
Yeah, and again, back to that honesty, is the most honest conversation you'll ever have is you might not be ready to invest. If you have mountains of credit card debt, that's
weird. Okay.
Somebody being honest might say, hey, let's focus on the Amex and worry about the rest later. I have no idea. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, hypotheticals. But
hypothetically.
Yeah. but
Yeah.
it's where you start. You got to start somewhere.
Okay. Now another one, true or false, investing is just gambling.
Again, false. Now that's become more and more an idea because we have all the options to gamble on your phone now, and then we have mobile platforms for investing. So I think a lot of people see, you've got your two apps right next to each other. Your brain starts to merge them together.
Mm-hmm.
Gambling is you are truly wagering, and it's on an event. Investing is a process. You can gamify it, but if we're truly investing, I don't care about the over for the Super Bowl.
Right. Okay. What about, okay, let's say someone did have a ton of credit card debt. Should they cash out their retirement fund?
I think
This is for them because I know you've talked to me about this several times.
If every situation's different, but if you can avoid touching your 401k, it is preferable because you are robbing future you and all the value that you will have created over time to solve a short-term problem.
Right.
Now, that being said, there are situations where if you are so far behind on credit card debt, you'll never get out, that it might be worth looking at. But for most people, tightening your belt, putting together a plan, and not robbing your personal future is the best way to go, case by case.
Because the more money that you have, the more it can grow.
Exactly.
So when you're taking it out outside of the tax penalties involved
plus the IRS
with that,
penalties. Yep.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about being a financial advisor? Like, do you kind of get like a little hit of adrenaline when you're like looking at all the stocks?
I mean, when things are good, you feel good.
Right.
But mine, this is the nerd side. I like the calls where we have people that are incredibly regimented and dedicated and future focused, and they've done really, really well. And they can be so focused on the future that we all know time is going by.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like the calls when we're going to be able to handle everything you need today, tomorrow, 10 years from now. And then there's still left over to call and say, hey, we're going to send $10,000 to the bank. Go take your wife on a trip. Now, obviously, I'm planting the seed. I can't do it without their permission, but it is the way that we get to say, you've done so well. Now it's time to enjoy this. Money is just a tool. And so those things to say, hey, these are the rewards you get from being dedicated back then. The other side is young people and education. For the past, however, decades at this point, we have placed this premium on a 4-year education, which I'm not discounting at all.
Right.
But that is not to dissuade young people that go into alternative education, trade schools, those kind of things. And my favorite conversation I've ever had was with a young man. He's 18 years old. He came in. He was joining a electrical business. Whatever the bottom rung on the ladder is, he was 2 rungs below that. He was outside looking through the window at the ladder.
Yeah.
And I could tell all his friends were going to school, they're going to college, they're getting it figured out. And I think he was starting to feel a little bit like a loser. And I said, man, here's your path.
Right.
You are 18 years old. For the next 2 years, you're grinding, dude. You are asking every old guy, what do you need? You're running for tools. You are at the bottom of the totem pole. But 2 years from now, you'll be able to get certified. Now you're going to be an electrician.
Yeah.
And you're on the team. And they're going to be paying you $35 an hour because they're charging you out at 60. You're going to do that for a few years. And then you're going to lead a team. And now you're making $45 an hour. And then a few years after that, you're going to leave and you're going to take your 3 best friends. You're going to hang your own shingle. You're going to buy a truck. Now you're a business owner.
Right.
And you do that for 5 years. And now you're 32 years old. You've got 10 guys that work for you. You got 3 trucks. You drive around. You make $300,000 a year and you're just bidding and you have no student debt. Contrast that to the potential for student loans and these kind of things that other people are doing.
Right.
Not to discourage or dissuade anybody's choices, but to be able to tell that young man, you have a path to the American dream. You just can't see it yet.
Right.
You got to trust me, because at 18, I couldn't have seen it either.
No.
But it's all still out in front of you. Those conversations, he's going to be fine. He's a great guy. He's going to do really, really well. But when you can't see it, just the perspective to explain, those are the conversations that I like the most.
Yeah, I have goosebumps. That was a really good story. I didn't, I when you were saying young, I was thinking like us young or like, but 18, that's okay.
Yep.
So it really is never too early or too late.
Time.
What about setting up something for like your kid? Is that something that people do?
Absolutely. And whether that is education, whether that is you have a newborn and you're saving for college, grandparents, starting to give back in different ways, all phenomenal opportunities, because they have 18 years where if the market goes down tomorrow, this is an opportunity because you're not spending it.
Right.
Young kids with long time horizons are ideal investors, and grandparents are very unique and able to do that. Parents too, obviously, but grandparents sit in that sweet spot of they are planting trees in which the shade they will never sit. But that kid that they're preparing for will be farther ahead in life than they were because of the choices that their family made for them.
Right. Well, and I know like my parents have talked to me about certain things that they did when I was born. And it's interesting to see how things can change in that 18 years and how you can get a head start.
Yep.
Okay, one last thing, because we're kind of running out of time. Well, we've got like another minute. If someone is watching this right now and feels nervous, they feel overwhelmed, they're nervous, I don't know, should I get a financial advisor? Should I not? What am I supposed to be doing with my money? What would you tell them?
I'd say give us a call, come on in and let's talk. The meter's not running. If we can help, we will, or whoever. I'm sure there's a lot of good people out there, but there is no substitute for information. Now, sometimes there's nothing more dangerous than a little bit of information. So take everything with a grain of salt and find somebody that can explain things to you in a way that makes sense to you. And I'm sure everybody goes through this to an extent. Don't go and put yourself in a position where you feel like they're talking at you. Go somewhere that they talk with you. And that's all any of us can ask for is whoever you're dealing with, talk with me. Explain it to me, right? Somebody that knows what they're talking about in every walk of life could explain it to a 5-year-old. If you have to talk over and use big words, I don't know that you have the heart of a teacher, so to speak.
Right. Okay, I like that. And, I struggle with that sometimes, like when we're talking about legal news stories and things like that, where I'm thinking, okay, if I don't understand this, if I'm reading a script, I don't understand it, how am I going to explain it to a mom who's trying to make breakfast, get her kids ready for school? She's half listening. Like, and so not to dumb it down a little bit, but just to kind of put it in layman's terms and just here's what's going on. Here's the deal. And
I had a guy tell me right off the bat, and everybody is new and trying to, when you get started in every profession, right? You're trying to do everything and you're terrified of being wrong. And I was guilty of it. And when I got started, I tried to do everything. It burned me out. I was petrified of having to tell somebody, I don't know, I'll have to get back to you, because I thought it was negative. I had a guy tell me right away, he goes, Alex, tell me what I need to know, 3 bullet points. When you call, I don't want it to be more than a minute. And I was like, okay, there's the lay of the land, is get to the point and move on, because people are busy. Right. That's okay. If that's how they want to communicate, that's okay.
Right. And if they do want it dragged out and explained, you'll do that too.
If you want to talk for an hour about long-term capital gains,
here's your guy.
Yeah, we'll clear the schedule. But if you want to be direct,
take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. That's when eyes glaze over. But
1,000%.
You meet people where they're at and where they want to be.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Alex. We appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks
it's
for
great
being
to be here.
on.
Thanks for having me. But
1,000%.
it's you meet people where they're at and where they want to be.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Alex. We appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks
it's
for
great
being
to be here.
on.
Thanks for having me.